Well, just hours after Musk took over, new data shows there's been a drastic rise in hate speech on the social media site.
It's really important that people have both the reality and the perception that they are able to speak freely within the bounds of the law.
While Musk is also dealing with a new wave of resignations hitting Twitter, the employee exodus comes after the company's new owner, Elon Musk.
Is it true that Elon Musk's new policies are not only significantly increasing hate speech and objectionable content, but also becoming the cause of the downfall of Twitter? In this video, we'll explore the truth about Elon Musk's comments on Twitter and free speech. We'll dive into how Twitter has become a tool for social justice movements, as well as how it can be a platform for misinformation and hate speech. And finally, what makes Elon Musk's policies so awful. So without any further delay, let's get started. Elon Musk made a bid to purchase Twitter on Thursday, April 14th for $54.20 per share. Twitter accepted the agreement on April 25th. By July 8th, Musk desired to go. Elon Musk has taken over ownership of Twitter, commencing October 27th. But soon after the acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk, there was a significant increase in hate speech and offensive statements. Musk has stated that he wants to transform Twitter into a platform for free speech in addition to enhancing its functions. The implications of what that means have sparked a lot of discussions and sparked worries about how the acquisition could affect the 2022 midterm elections, and more broadly, how politicians will utilize the platform moving forward. In a message to advertisers on the day the transaction concluded, Musk tried to soothe concerns by acknowledging that the platform cannot turn into a free-for-all hellscape. According to Musk, he is an absolute believer in the right to free expression. However, it can be difficult to determine whether this indicates a sincere, if occasionally exaggerated, devotion to civil freedoms, or if it is simply Musk's attempt to defend absurd statements. But is the concept of free speech really applicable on any social media platform in the present time? To understand it in a better way, let's consider an example. Imagine your city has a public speaking area similar to the Agora in ancient Greece. Without any restrictions, you're free to express yourself here. But there's one crucial distinction. Who gets to hear what speech or who speaks is decided for their own financial gain. Additionally, this isn't made clear when you enter. When you talk, you might only be heard by a few people, whereas someone else with comparable thoughts is heard by many people. Could this be considered free speech? Because the advanced agoras function as social media platforms and organize speech in this way, this is a crucial question. Social media sites don't merely show users the updates for the people they follow in the chronological order in which they were posted. Instead, algorithms determine what information is displayed and in what order. This is what we refer to in our research as algorithmic audience, and we think it merits a closer examination in the discussion of how free speech is exercised online. In regards to content moderation, censorship, and issues of selecting what speech can enter and remain on the platform, Musk's stance on freedom of speech and expression is typical of how this topic is frequently addressed. Algorithms are used in algorithmic censoring to either increase or decrease the accessibility of every message on a site. Based on the logic of a platform's monetization, this would be done intentionally. Because user engagement increases user attention to targeted advertising and increases the opportunity for data collection, newsfeed algorithms emphasize the material that keeps consumers the most engaged. This clarifies why several users have big followings while others with comparable ideas receive little attention. Those that address the algorithm see their ideas circulate most widely. This resembles extensive social engineering. As a result, echo chambers are formed. An echo chamber on social media is when one is exposed to biased, specialized media that excludes diverse voices and opposing ideas. We have been placed in a cozy, self-confirming feed on social media as a result of algorithms that make sure we only view content that matches our interests. The next thing, which plays a great role in manipulating you, is social bots. On social networks, social bots act as real users. They're regarded as fake accounts if they don't disclose that they're automated. Many users are duped because they believe they're speaking with someone after reading plausible material on a profile. In the interest of its operators, this kind of bot is frequently employed to promote viewpoints on social media sites or to incite a debate. Social bots are occasionally used by businesses for marketing goals, such as to inflate the popularity of certain products to boost sales. They occasionally write false positive product reviews as well. Since they represent the opinions of specific political parties or people, they can also be used for political ends. Social media bots frequently disseminate untrue material to attack political opponents. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that somehow this technology is frequently brought up in conversation alongside emotive terms like false news, hateful speech, filtered bubbles, and feedback mechanisms. It can be challenging to identify the real person under a social bot. There's currently no mechanism that can reliably detect bogus accounts. Therefore, finding the guilty operator is even more difficult. So all in all, Twitter shows you one type of data and makes up your mind in a way that you think the wrongs of the idea itself are right. It manipulates you in a way that you yourself cannot recognize and fall into its trap. Social bots and echo chambers are part of this social media agenda. That's why social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are one of the very significant reasons for riots. Social media platforms work in this manner because that's the only way more people engage. And with increased engagement, more money comes in. In this way, these platforms do business, and if they start showing people both sides of the story, their engagement drops and as a result they suffer loss. So precisely, the implementation of free speech on social media platforms is more like a myth and has no reality to it. As a business, Twitter is free to impose any restrictions it wants on the expression on its platform. Legislation addressing social media regulation is being explored by the European Union and the US Congress. However, these measures focus more on user rights protection, transparency, and accountability than they do on speech legislation. But Musk's early phases as the new owner of Twitter rapidly overshadowed any attempt at comforting the advertising sector, which accounts for the vast majority of Twitter's business. An advertiser exodus may occur sooner than expected, according to some industry experts. But before we move on, if you're not subscribed to the BizStudied YouTube channel, you need to subscribe before the end of the year. We want to get to 50,000 subscribers, so please subscribe so we hit our goal and reach many more people. The next video will be even better, so please subscribe and thank you so much. Back to the video. People tested Musk's pledge that he would permit free expression on the network by reporting that racist remarks, hate speech, and other offensive content had considerably increased on Twitter within the first 24 hours of his possession, according to various reports. Then, over the weekend, Musk came under fire for sharing a link to a far-fetched conspiracy theory regarding the brutal assault on Paul Pelosi, the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, on Twitter before deleting it without giving an explanation. Advertisers now have to deal with doubts about how Musk will transform the site, which is already a competitor in the digital ad industry despite its disproportionate political power, after weeks of uncertainty around Musk's impending acquisition. Musk, who he himself is a creative businessman and an unpredictable personality, has pledged to review Twitter's content moderation guidelines and lift the indefinite bans placed on controversial characters like former President Trump. Brands have traditionally been hypersensitive towards the types of material their advertisements appear next to, and social media has only exacerbated the situation. The idea of their advertisements appearing next to harmful content makes the majority of marketers cringe. And if such stuff continues to proliferate on Twitter, or if Musk changes Twitter's standards to explicitly permit some of it, businesses may stop running advertisements there out of concern for the safety of their identities, or as they're addressing a smaller market if normal users also leave. Musk is also facing the fact that over 90% of Twitter's revenue comes from advertising, after earlier tweeting "I despise advertising" and saying he wants to reduce its dependence on it. Musk, however, might have a tough task. The digital advertising market at Twitter is significantly smaller than that at Meta, Google, and Amazon, and it lacks TikTok's user demographics and growth. In recent months, numerous firms have already cut back on their digital advertising due to the recession. It might not take more for brands to undertake further cuts. Additionally, Media Matters for America CEO Angelo Carusone tweeted a request for prominent Twitter advertisers to be putting pressure on Twitter right now in order to better manage this rise in hate speech and other harmful content. In an open letter to Twitter's biggest advertisers on Tuesday, more than 40 civil society organizations, such as Media Matters, the NAACP, GLAAD, as well as the Center for Countering Digital Hate, urged them to stop using the platform if Musk scales back content monitoring. Moreover, the 51-year-old has accepted at least 1,200 resignations and laid off 50% of Twitter's 7,500 employees since late last month, which is, of course, a massive number. He posted on Twitter that he'd been sleeping at the San Francisco headquarters of Twitter. Additionally, he used mission-driven language while warning Twitter's employees that the business might go out of business if he failed to turn it around. He stated that those who choose to work on Twitter 2.0 must express their written commitment to his hardcore idea. Musk acquired just under $13 billion in debt to help finance the purchase of a business that lost $221 million last year. He needs to reduce expenses and boost annual income, which reached $5.1 billion in 2021, because the additional interest bill would be around $1 billion a year. Following that experiment, Musk significantly reduced Twitter's workforce by letting 3,700 people go across all departments, particularly content moderators and other experienced professionals in trust and safety. Redesigning the platform's subscription offering and verification method is one of his main priorities. Before, public individuals like politicians and celebrities who were very prone to be impersonated by dishonest people were the only ones who could be verified using the blue check method. Anyone who purchases Twitter Blue, a subscription for $7.99 a month, will now be able to purchase a verification mark. People who believe the authentication measures will make it more difficult for Twitter users to access reliable information and real accounts have responded with mocking and imitation. On Sunday, the account of Kathy Griffin, one of the entertainers who impersonated Elon Musk over the weekend, was suspended. She changed her profile picture to resemble Elon Musk's and her public name to reflect that. She then tweeted, "After a much-spirited discussion with the females in my life, I've decided that voting blue for their choice is only right. They're also sexy females, by the way." The day after a fake Eli Lilly & Co. account claimed that insulin is free now, complete with a blue check mark that had been purchased, the pharmaceutical corporation stopped running advertisements on Twitter. Although Twitter was understaffed as a result of recent layoffs and resignations, Eli Lilly asked them to remove the message, but it was left up for hours. The tweet received thousands of likes and retweets, and Eli Lilly's shares subsequently fell. According to Endpoints News and Pathmatics, a company that tracks trends in corporate advertising and digital marketing, 12 large pharmaceutical companies shortly ceased purchasing Twitter ads. King joked on Twitter, "Pretty soon, MyPillow will be the only advertising left on Twitter." Mike Lindell, a pro-Trump conspiracy theorist, is the owner of the pillow manufacturing business. There could be more challenging elements. According to a recent firm whistleblower complaint, customers may be wary of providing any credit card or bank information to a business that purportedly has serious security flaws. People don't always have easy access to banking facilities throughout the world, and many average Twitter users who don't care about Twitter clout and aren't concerned about being impersonated would just not want to pay for a blue check. As the top 100 marketers on Twitter, half of them don't seem to be doing any investments. These 50 advertisers reportedly invested about $2 billion on Twitter ads in 2020 and more than $750 million only in 2022, according to research from Media Matters for America. Concluding all of this data, Elon Musk's new policies have already created a huge fuss on Twitter, and if it continues, will more badly affect its business in the upcoming years, which might result in the bankruptcy of Twitter. But time will only tell if Twitter will get back to its business game or not. Well, that was it. Hope this video helped in clearing your head regarding the ongoing Elon Musk and Twitter ballgame. What do you think can help Elon Musk develop a good business on Twitter? And can free speech on social media apps become reality anytime soon? Share your opinion in the comments section with us, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.